I just don't like being on camera.
Where's the strength receipt? Oh, they took them away.
Yeah, they took
Our
our
credit from the,
So we did 154 tires that are going.
okay, got it.
Do you generally do attendance? On minutes, do you do attendance?
We try to kind of capture it. We don't always get everybody in the audience.
I have no idea who anybody is. You guys want to, Mike, lift up your names?
I'm John Swan,
Okay.
Dalton.
Yeah. I get your name?
James Isherwood. Dalton.
What is it?
James Isherwood.
Isherwood?
Yep.
Okay.
Caitlin Corto,
Can you spell that?
both or just the last?
The last name.
Courtot.
Ron Sheltry.
Elliot Wessler, Wessler. I live in Whitefield.
Okay. Thank you.
Paul Damiano, Damiano.
Christine Ordinitz, Ordinetz, Dalton.
What was your first name? I'm sorry.
Christine.
Christine. Okay. Anybody?
I'm her husband, Steve.
Steve?
Don Mooney, Dalton.
Nancy Mooney, Dalton.
Pam Cathan, Dalton.
Can you spell your last name, Ken?
Sure, K-A-T-H-A-N.
Thank you.
Scott Langtrode, K-L-E-I-N-S-C-H-R-O-D-T, Dalton.
Oh, that one more time, I wasn't quick enough.
K-L-E-I-N
Yep.
S-C-H-R-O-D-T.
Did I get everybody?
Do you have copies of the agenda somewhere for tonight?
We have a few copies up here. Give me a couple minutes before we start.
I didn't keep a copy of the agenda.
There should be four.
Yep, we'll give an extra one.
What was it?
I don't know, that's why I was trying to figure out what was,
a question about that. Is there any documentation for that? I'm not sure. Some checks that you want to give?
I think I'm just looking, I couldn't find it when we put the checks together, I know I've got it somewhere, but it got lost as we were putting things together, so I'll have to find it.
Okay,
You can sign it next week, next time, you can put it off to next time if you want.
okay.
This says, the town office here.
Okay, it's 6:30, so I call this evening's meeting of the select board to order. We're going to continue signing the checks, getting that taken care of. Carol, do you want to hand some of those to me?
I think these are one and there's only two here.
Okay,
She has the other.
Right, this is the one.
I know this one I've got a question about.
And then another one that she has that, for the question too.
So, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So someone failed.
Yeah, it's,
What is it?
at the Dalton Municipal Building, the annual testing and inspection of our underground storage tanks. Is that via coil storage underground?
Yes, it is. It says failed. Is it
Failed.
failed?
So do we have a little, any more information about that?
Last spring, you were presented with paperwork from, Tina knows who it is, it's a girl named Mariah. Did you- Tanner Company, that they inspected it and it needs work, and it went before you guys, and no decision was ever made about what to do about it. So I'm assuming it still needs the work to get done to pass.
So this is just the testing, this is not the remediation.
No, I really don't know, because I don't know what they're looking at. I don't think they came back and tested again yet. I know they tested it and sent a report saying there was some things that needed to be replaced. How much is it for ballpark?
$671.90.
Yeah, that sounds more like just testing then.
I mean, it talks like it has a seal kit on here.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, how do we remediate it? If it's failing the test. We're still, that's heating oil, that's under an underground tank?
Correct. Tanner will come and fix it. They told you what was wrong with it, and they will come fix it, so that it will pass.
Yeah.
Is there a number to call? Is there a number to call?
Yes.
And we should call and find out what.
I think we should get more information. And then an option for remediation, I mean, do we get rid of the tank and fill it up and remediate it? And bring it inside? Or, you know, how do we handle that? We don't want an oil spill in the ground.
Right. Shall I call them and check on it?
If you could do that, that would be great.
Someone should have made the appointment for them to come, but this is getting the invoice was the first I had seen of it.
And it said that they came and tested it on June 10th, 2020.
So somebody made the appointment, but I don't know who.
Yeah.
The first knowledge I had of it was getting the invoice.
They just come on an annual basis, so it didn't necessarily have to be an appointment. It's their job to make
When
sure
I
the
worked
tanks
with them,
are.
they always gave an appointment and permission to come, but maybe not here.
Yeah. It says attention Kathy Fountain, so I'm not sure
Well,
why she was involved.
that was, no, she probably wasn't, that's from years ago. Information that didn't get changed in their system.
Can you fix that too?
I can try.
Well, while we're still taking care of checks and everything, let me introduce to you, I'm very happy to introduce Robin Gilmartin. She's our new administrative assistant.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome, Robin.
Thanks. Behind all the masks, y'all look real friendly.
Yeah. So we're very happy to have her here.
Yes, we are.
Mhm.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Do we need to sign this or can it wait another 2 weeks?
The check,
The check to Tanner Hill.
probably can wait.
Okay, I don't want to be.
I don't know what the due date is on
The-
it.
The date of the invoice was, actually, probably said was June 16th. So we probably do need to pay it in 30 days, which would be.
They're usually, when I worked with them in a previous life, they were very accommodating, so they probably would understand that you wanted more information, that they hadn't done their normal due diligence.
Okay. Are all the other checks signed? Yep. No issues, okay. And then do we have minutes from June 29th?
This is the open session. Do you want to close this room now? or-
How about one at a time?
Thank you.
I have a question for our remote participants. I do have a microphone hooked up. Are you able to hear people in the audience better this week?
Ask it, Ernie.
I can test to see if that's working.
Ernie said I could hear you fine. Did anyone in the audience speak yet? If so, then no.
Okay. We might have to, there's not a lot of cord here. But maybe if people speak, if you could come up closer to the microphone. next to last paragraph. Would have completed forms to be completed, estimates. Page 2. It's like a difference to that. Changing complete to completed. With the microphone. Then on page 3, there's old date, should be data. And Carol, we're missing one of the people on the safety committee.
That would be Rob Blanchett was the other person that did he walked through with Kyle and Ron.
What page you on?
And it would be Kyle McBean, not McBain.
I don't know what page you're on.
I'm sorry, 5.
It's okay. Page 5. What am I changing?
Up at the top, it should be Kyle McBean.
Okay.
And then the blank space should be Rob Blanchett. 'Cause he was the other one that did the
walk through the
Safety.
safety committee.
Got rid of blank space. Wow.
Take my version.
Yeah, if I can. Can I keep yours when you're done?
Yep.
All the corrections? Okay. Then what I've got.
Sounds like I printed out the one after, before I did the corrections for the board, I'm not sure why, but.
So if you're okay, I'll keep this one. Just make
Yeah.
the corrections then.
Okay, do we have any other corrections? Are we ready to approve them? Are you still looking for them, Pamela? Yep. Okay.
All set? Yeah, okay.
Any other corrections?
I make a motion to accept the June 29th select board meeting minutes with the minor corrections.
That's Carol making a motion.
Sorry, Carol.
I got your name straight, yeah.
I second the motion, Tamara.
All in favor?
I, Tamara.
Aye, Carol.
I, Joe Duff. With the remote access, we try to make sure that we identify
Absolutely.
who's making motions and we do roll call votes. Okay, did you have,
Closed meetings, is that tomorrow? Yeah.
this is the original for us to sign. Any corrections or changes? Do we have a motion to accept them?
I make a motion to accept the non-public minutes of June 29th as is. Tamara.
I second that, Carol.
All in favor?
I, Tamara.
Aye, Carol.
I, Joe Bell. Okay, we've got a couple of people on the agenda for public comments. We're going to keep them brief because we have a lot of work to go through, and one of which is we have to finalize the application for the next round of COVID expenses reimbursements, and that's due Wednesday. So we don't have a lot of time, so we're gonna have to get through those agenda items. So, we'll start with a group of citizens who'd like to speak again.
Good evening, my name is Christine Ordinitz. I am one of 3 speakers for a group called Dalton Concerned Citizens. And we just have some follow-up questions to an ongoing meeting from the last select board meeting. I personally spent some time on my own trying to locate a CPA firm that does municipal audits, since COAS is no longer associated with us. In the past, when the town was doing its own bookkeeping, hiring an outside audit company was appropriate. In 2015, this outside audit cost the town about $22,000. COAS advisors were going to do the 2019 MS-60 for, I believe, $6,000, and that seemed kind of like a bargain. Filling out the MS-60 form is not easy or quick. I have a copy of it here. It is extensive, and Jesse says that there are about 6 banker's boxes full of documents that have to be gone through, so it's not just to sit down, whip it out in a couple of hours. It is extensive.
Right.
After calling around locally, Concord and Manchester, I emailed the board the names of 2 companies that do this. Not everybody does municipal audits. They are time-consuming. They usually encompass several days and several people. I was just wondering if anybody has contacted them. One was Vachon Cloquet, and the other one was a F.G. Briggs Jr. company, both are in Manchester.
So proceeding with how we're going to handle the audit will be something that we'll deal with. I don't know that we'll be making a decision tonight because we still have some other things to catch up on, but it certainly is on our list, and we're very interested in making sure that we do it appropriately.
Okay, I was just wondering if anybody had reached out to these 2 companies, knowing that the government extended the tax filing deadline to July 15th. I know they're out straight, and the 2019 has to be done by the end of the year. I just wanted to see if anybody had reached out to them, to even see if they're going to take us on, because there are only 3 in the state that I have been told, and I did call every CPA that I could get hold of between here.
So we have not
You have not.
met in the last 2 weeks, so we've not made any decision.
I work for the town of Landaff, and you didn't list the ones that we use.
Who do you use?
Plastic and Sanderson?
I was not given that name. I didn't know who they were. Add it to the list.
I'll add it to your list, though, that's okay.
Well, their list.
And so Beth, I found a list of, there's about 12 CPA firms in New Hampshire from the NHGFOA site, and that's part of the paperwork Robin has for you.
Well, the ones I called said they're CPAs, but they don't do municipalities. And
These are New Hampshire government CPA firms.
So anyway, that's something that we're gonna move
Okay.
ahead, because we have a lot to cover, and I wanna make sure that we get our reimbursement application completed.
okay, the only other issue, and this is going back to a conflict of interest issue that I have brought to the board's attention in the past. The select board has been made aware of the appearance of conflict of interest between a select board member and the Dalton fire chief. In 2019, the head of the highway department got a raise after the board extensively researched and justified it. I was wondering if you'd please discuss the documented research that justifies the $3 an hour, 20% raise that the board approved for the fire chief. And I'm going to follow up with saying that I know usually personnel issues are closed session, but this gentleman spoke to me face-to-face at the February budget hearing and told me he gave himself and his guys a raise. That's fine. I had no idea it was 20%, and I did not think to ask. It was in the newspaper, and you made a motion and approved it, I think it was the March 23rd minutes. So I would just like to know if research was done to justify the raise and the 20% as it was done in 2019 with the highway department. If you don't have time to answer it now, if
Do
you
you
could.
have the research paper for that?
No, I do not, but I'm sure it's in the file, and
Well,
if you want to look
into
for it, I would appreciate it.
So I think it's, comparable in many cases, because the raise for the head of the highway department last year was $3.50. For the
Yeah.
fire chief this year it was $3, and again, he did not get a raise last year, and that was a justification last year for giving the
Okay.
highway department. That raise was because it had been 2 years, it's a comparable thing, and then there are also market factors that. play
Okay, I'm
into
just
this.
asking if research was done, if you would let me know.
Yes.
At that point, I'll drop the topic. But I would just like to know if comparable research was done for this increase as it was done for the highway department.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Linda or Jesse will speak next. Thank you.
Good evening, Linda Greenwood. As noted 2 weeks ago, Dalton pays 2 large December bills each year, the $500,000 to the county, and then the stipends for the fire department members. In a similar manner,
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble, these people, just having trouble understanding.
let me start over.
I know, it's hard with the math.
I know, it's awful with the mask. Historically, 3 large bills are dealt with after July taxes are collected. This year, $135,000 worth of warrant articles passed at the March meeting, and that money needs to get transferred from the general account to the trust fund account. Also, the 2020 budget proposal set aside $8,700 for area health agencies and $2,429 for the airport. The administrative assistant prepares this paperwork. Is the board planning to pay these before the end of August?
And so, for those, we were waiting until we had tax money came in. We just signed all of the checks to transfer money to the trust fund accounts today.
Oh, good.
The tax bills are due July 1st, so this is the first meeting in July that we've had. So those have already been done. The airport, so last year, the prior administrative assistant had not paid that, the airport bill at the beginning of the year, and so it did fall through the cracks. It was, I believe, the beginning of April that we paid last year's and this year, so that's been paid.
Okay, good. And how about the health agencies?
I don't remember off the top, I know we paid some of those, but not all of them.
Okay.
So.
I had that on my
make sure-
agenda to do next meeting, so Robin, work with them, have her do it next meeting.
Okay,
We have paid one of them.
yes, I know we've paid at least one.
We'd like to see the questionnaire that's required each time a person requests welfare assistance.
Certainly.
Is documentation like income, assets, bills, etc. required?
Oh, certainly, yes.
It's basically the same application that was been used, there was only a few things added to it, like permission to speak to certain employers, to landlords.
And then some things to make sure we got follow-up information as well.
I mean, other than that, I didn't change anything else. Oh, and I added COVID money
Yeah.
to it.
Does the board have does the person requesting help need to prove that they've sought help in other places? Is that part of the process?
That is part of the process.
Okay. Welfare is such a tough situation to handle in such a small town like this. Brentwood, New Hampshire shares a welfare director with Exeter, and I'm saying maybe the board should consider a similar arrangement next year, because it is tough to handle at such a small town. Just
And
a-
I'm sorry, so you're suggesting that we share the welfare administrative role with another town?
Right,
That's an interesting idea.
that way you,
I think
Take
we
it
could
out of
also
it.
have an opportunity here though, because Robin was just sharing some of her background in.
My background is human services, so I've worked with welfare
I've worked with every avenue around welfare, so as far as where you would go prior to coming to the town for any help, I'd be happy to direct them through the steps.
Yeah, good.
That's part of my background, and I'm happy to fill you in on any of that.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, so,
Two real quick things. Where are we in the process of getting QuickBooks transferred over?
We're in the process of it.
You're in the process?
Yeah, it's getting there, better the deposits and whatnot, and I know some of the payables have been updated, but not quite up to par yet.
You did say you could get a total though for some departments if we.
Yeah, if department heads needed, I can kind of patch something together for
Okay.
you as far as what you've spent so far, if you need that right away. If you can wait another 2 weeks or so till I can fill it in,
Okay.
then I can do it that way, but if anything's needed prior to that as far as your budgets, by all means, just let me know and I'll do the bookwork on it.
Okay, that's great. Forest Lake's open, everybody's happy. I've had a lot of people asking me about it. I've also been asked, so you guys, I hopefully know the answer. Is the state testing the water like they used to, or does that now fall upon the town too?
so the water testing, the annual
Yes.
water testing,
Yeah,
I'm going to actually defer to somebody from the Forest Lake Association who can say where the status is of that.
okay.
Sure. I can tell you that for the last 7 years, Forest Lake Association has paid for all the water testing throughout the lake. You know, they take samples all over the place. The residents take care of bringing around the New Hampshire, you know, people from Concord. They go in the boats together and they take it all. And the results of that, you know, has been compiled by Adam Finkel, who's part of the Forest Lake Association. He's forwarded the data to you guys.
Yeah.
And what it's shown is that Forest Lake is, from E. coli and some of the dangerous things that could be in a lake, that Forest Lake is so pristine that the Department of Environmental Services down in Concord has made the decision that they'll put us on not an every year test, but an every other or third year test, because it's been so clean for so many years. It's like, why do we want to keep coming back up here and testing it? Forest Lake is truly in the top percent of the lakes in the lakes region. We did have a little bit of an outbreak a couple of years ago with goose poop. Excuse the expression. We had goose poop a couple of years ago. But there was another forest lake in the southern part of New Hampshire down in, not Jaffrey.
Winchester?
Yeah, there's another forest lake south that has been a continual problem. And I think some of the data that's gone back and forth has been a little bit confused by which forest lake you're talking about. But the forest lake here in Dalton is extraordinarily clean, and the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services has sort of said, we don't really need to look at it as regularly as we do other lakes, because this one is clearly not a problem.
Can I just interject? So Jesse, I'm having some trouble with my hearing, everybody, so please bear with me. Were you asking who's going to pay for the testing?
No, I just wondered who was gonna do it. I've had
No,
people ask.
Forest Lake Association's
Okay.
been doing it for 7 or 10 years. I'm not sure if it's 7 or 10, I'm sorry. I can get back to you with that.
Alright.
But they've been doing it, you know, every year.
Right.
And one year, we did have a goose poop explosion that
Yes.
caused a little bit of a problem,
I
but
witnessed.
that, other than that, like right now, you can drink out of Forest Lake.
Yeah.
There is no problem with drinking out of Forest Lake. There's many residences around Forest Lake that do pull it in for drinking water.
And it was tested again in May of this year?
Yes, I think it was May. I think it was May. And again, it came back unbelievably clean, so, you know, that's the answer to that.
Okay, that answers my question. I can pass
Thank you.
that on. when
As
you
long as I'm
ask.
standing, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Carol. She has pulled together a great group of, you know, the Dalton Fire Rescue and in the residents around the Forest Lake. We've had people in voluntarily, at no expense to anybody. They're cleaning toilets every 2 hours. They're weed whacking. This morning I ran into a lady with a weed whacker. I had to avoid her, actually. You know, I was a little concerned. But the goose poop, we do have geese on the lake. There's a family of 5, and we're trying to keep them off the beach, because that's where the problem is. I mean, I don't know where else they poop, but I mean, if they come up on the beach, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But we have volunteers that every day go in and clean all the fireplaces empty all of that. We do trash pickup. I guarantee anybody, you can walk around Forest Lake State Park today down by the beach, you can't find 10 cigarette butts. You can't. They're all been picked up. And, you know, I just think that Carol's done a great job of putting together a great team of people.
I want to give a shout out to everybody.
that are
I
doing
haven't seen the emails.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, but you know, it takes, you know, it takes somebody to really take the lead and make it all happen, and it's happening. Litters being picked up, goose poops being picked up. I hate that job, but goose poops being picked up.
I have my dog.
And Wiley Coyote is back in full with 4 legs. You know, for a while there, we lost a couple of his legs. He came off the lake, off the beach, and now we've got him all back. He's all glued together. He's back on the beach, scaring away the geese. So, I'm happy.
So thank you to Forest Lake Association, to the fire rescue, to everybody who's volunteering.
Outside volunteers.
Call them
Yeah,
now.
outside and Friends of Forest Lake, there's a bunch of them.
I think it's a huge safety thing too. I know for me, we was going over there, people are gonna use this no matter what.
Right.
And with the gate being closed, there was kids running up and down Forest Lake Road, heading for the beach and et cetera. It was a big safety issue. Now the gate's open, they go in the parking lot, the kids go down to the beach, they come back to the parking lot and they drive out. It's just so much safer situation.
And they are social distancing, it's
Oh,
surprising
yeah,
when you go
oh, yeah,
there,
there was 100 people
that
over
they're
there
keeping
on
each other
New
separate.
Year's Day, and
Yeah.
they were all in little pods of families, and
Yeah.
it's probably one of the most positive things I've seen in a while, to be honest with you.
It's
It's
nice to
great.
celebrate a success.
It's
I
great.
think
I'm
that
just saying,
that's-
it's nice to celebrate a success.
Thank you, everyone. I mean, that's such a nice little park. And it'd be nice if the state had the resources to continue to support it, but, yes.
Could I speak for a minute? Jesse, are there people that are expressing concern about the quality of forest?
No, just asking if it was still gonna get tested. Apparently, people heard on the radio that the state didn't have funding to do the lakes this year. And I said, I have no idea, but I can ask.
I'm glad to hear that, because over the course of the last year, there have been people that have questioned the
Right.
water quality in Forest Lake. And,
I think it was years ago, there was issues with E. coli.
Yeah, there was years ago, 5 years ago, there was an issue with goose poop.
But there's lots of water quality data for anyone that has any questions about the quality of Forest Lake water. Is Forest Lake Association, which has all that data collected from the state and from Granite State Labs, which is the lab that's well-respected
Yeah,
lab
can you
in
speak
New
up
England.
more? The remote.
I'm sorry.
The remote, listeners cannot hear
Sorry.
you.
There's water quality data from that Forest Lake Association has paid for. There's water quality data from the state. There's water quality data from Granite State Labs, and all of that can be made available to anybody that has any concerns whatsoever.
I'll pass on
about
that
the
it's safe
water
and been
quality in
tested, and
Forest
if
Lake.
they want more
You
information,
can
I'll
drink
pass
out of
them
Forest
on
Lake
to
today.
you.
You can drink out of Forest Lake.
Thank you.
Okay. John, you wanted to take a minute?
Sure, thank you. My name's John Swan, Dalton resident, and I too am a concerned citizen of Dalton, and I'm concerned about the agenda of the concerned citizens of Dalton. I'll be brief because I know you have things to do, but first off I have to say, you know, if $3 is a 20% pay increase for the fire chief, Ron Sheltry, how can you gripe about that, you know? I mean, the guy is beloved by all. And one of my concerns is that if you look at the roster of players involved with this group, it's the same faces that were responsible for last year's fiasco that cost the town thousands of dollars and in lawsuits and settlements. And I'm concerned that they're going to try and take us down this same path. And again, this is my opinion based on a year of watching all of this. The same group of people are pro-landfill proponents working on behalf of Casella Waste Systems to undermine this board. That this 4-page manifesto that the treasurer had time to type up, but she still hasn't gotten the trustees their access to the online banking account, and she doesn't even know her own responsibility. Since co-host is no longer doing the reconciling. She says she hasn't gotten a reconciliation since March. If you look at the state statute, state treasurer, or town treasurer, that's your
So
job.
I think we're gonna look at things going forward. I think treasurers can, my understanding is they can delegate reconciliation, but it should be a written delegation.
And has it been
As
done?
a board, I think we will want to look at all of the roles and make sure those are updated and that things are being done appropriately.
But we're in
And we've got a lot
July.
of changes, so the separation of duties are gonna be
Sure.
different, and that's something we really wanna look into.
Well, my concern too is that, she said since March. It's July. Why doesn't she come to the board and say, hey, what's
Okay,
going
well,
on?
this-
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
there's a group here trying to
Okay, but we don't- I
undermine.
don't wanna
Okay.
dwell on this, I wanna, because we've got a ton of stuff to do.
All right, and I just want to say one more thing. I want to remind the select board that the purpose of the town master plan was to set down clearly and practically the most appropriate set of principles and objectives to guide the future development of the town of Dalton. That's based on input from citizens and elected officials. And it states that Dalton is a rural residential community and should remain so in the future. Dalton's essential rural character and quality of life are defined by the town's natural environment, rivers, forests, fields, ridges, and future development should be consistent with and seek to protect Dalton's natural environment. Now, that flies in the face of what Dalton resident and Casella advocate, Mr. Scott Kleinstrode, is advancing because he doesn't want to pay his property taxes. He feels that Dalton should become a property-rich town, whereas we've always been a property-poor town, which is defined by citizens who pay their property taxes, not some big multi-billion-dollar corporation coming in and hopefully paying all of our taxes so we have to pay our taxes. So I just want the select board to remember the master plan, what the wishes of the citizens are, and remember the July 30th vote at the special town meeting last year where the very unpopular emergency temporary zoning was voted in to stop this development, which Mr. Kleinstrode seems to think is good for the town. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So for old business, do we want to skip the purchase order policy? Because we have so many other things to deal with.
We need to do that. We need to do the reimbursement.
I'm sorry?
We need to do the COVID reimbursement
Yes,
paperwork.
yes. So, Pam, I got your spreadsheet, and one of the things is one of the pieces we're missing?
The one thing I do know somebody's interested in, but before we do that, is open sealed bids. Do we have sealed bids to open for that property?
Oh, yeah, we should go down to that and set it down. The pistol license renewal, we should have one.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Is there only one place to sign? I thought there were two places. Sign this. I'm not seeing the place on the whole.
Okay.
Am I missing it?
I think that's just the,
Oh, down
down the bottom.
Down the bottom.
Yeah.
All the concerned citizens have left. Almost.
we have a bid from Joseph and Patrice Capello. For $27,000.00. And this is for the property at Hall Road. And we have a sealed bid from James Isherwood Jr. in the amount of $1,025.
What was the other?
The other one was $27,000.
This is the one that had the wrong name spelled,
Yes. Sorry, that one?
the names,
The names were incorrect.
Oh, the names.
where
Yeah.
they said as is.
And when we reached out for legal counsel, because it's as is, the buyer is liable for clearing any title.
To get the deeds corrected.
They
right?
have to correct it.
Yeah,
It's not our
okay.
responsibility to correct it. In the title history of this property, there are different spellings of the same name. Okay, do we have a motion to accept one of these bids?
I have a quick question. If the higher bid backs out because they were unaware of the legal complications and the multiple errors, what happens at that time? Would the second bid be taken into consideration? I ask only because they might be unaware of what they're getting themselves into with the title, the deed.
So there is some terminology, and I'm going to, let me see if we have it in the, when we put it out for bid, that, how is it worded in terms of the deed? I'm blanking on the
Quick
phrase.
claim.
Quick claim, I think.
Yeah.
And legal counsel said that, again, as you said, that it's their responsibility, but also the 27,000 bid is the son of the original owner.
Yes.
So I think that part of the problem goes away because of the relationship.
Right. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. I mean, any more than it is because, like, it has to be a quick claim deed because there are taxes owed on the property. And my understanding is we as a town have to do an assessment of the, how much the town has lost in terms of lost taxes and interest. And then the balance over and above that amount has to be returned to the prior owner.
Which would be the buyer in this instance. Which would be the buyer in this instance.
Right, but right. So it's not like there's going to be a windfall for the town, it's just really recovering, hopefully recovering our tax loss over some time. So we have two bids, one is for $1,025, the other is for $27,000. Do we have a motion to accept one of them?
Obviously, we're gonna accept the $27,000. I make a motion to accept the bid for 27, what was it?
$27,000
Even
from
On the
Joseph
Hall.
and Patrice Capello.
on the Hall Road property, correct?
Yes. And that's
All right,
Carol making
Carol.
a motion.
I second the motion. Tamara?
All in favor?
Aye, Tamara.
Aye, Carol?
Aye, Joe Bell.
But, did you answer her question?
Not really.
So she basically says if the first person backs out, does it go up for rebid or does the second person get it?
Like if they back out, what happens?
The first person,
Yeah,
the
the Casellas.
27,000.
Right, so
Right.
they
But
decide.
if the other people, that, the 27,000 backs out, does it?
Oh, then with the other, oh, that, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The board can do either, whatever they want. They can either go to, you can either go to the other bids, or you can put it out for bid, out.
So we would make a decision at that point.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, didn't we have it?
And the deposit for the bid that wasn't accepted will be returned, is my understanding.
Right.
Since I'm here, could I just
I was gonna say,
take?
is that your deposit? You folks are okay if I release that deposit now, then, or?
With ID.
With ID.
Oh, yeah, I can show you my ID.
And because we don't want the real, no, just kidding.
Are you Isherwood or the other one?
I'm not sure what.
You are, okay. So the deposit of 800?
Yes.
Here you go. Thank you.
So the odor issue, that's really the old issue that's.
Right, we can wait, we can do that next time.
Okay. COVID,
Yes.
yes. Okay, so for the transfer station, do you want me to pull up your spreadsheet?
Yeah, so I guess the real question is, there's two ways to look at it. So we look at what we were not recycling, and then if you look at like the average of what we were recycling in the months previous, I think it was like, ended up like, there was like, I think it was 3 months at 800 pounds, so it'd be like 2,400 pounds, and so it was slightly less than a ton. So it ended up being like $70 in terms of the loss of recycling. The other noticeable difference was if you looked at last year's average amount of municipal solid waste in a 2-week period, it was about 6 tons every 2 weeks, and this year it was about 8 tons every 2 weeks. So in terms of, so basically it costs, the cost of 2 tons for 2 months, so it'd be 4 tons of waste, so it's a couple $100 what we look at. So, but I don't know if how clearly we can say that that is strictly due to COVID, but it does seem to definitely be consistently over by 2 tons.
Yeah, well, families stayed home too. Remember, the kids didn't go to school, so that was that. There was a lot of home construction going on, where they were redoing because of the COVID money that they got. So that's,
Sorry, it seems to.
Hmm.
Here.
Yeah, so if you looked at, tons in May and then 2 tons in June. I have to think about $309 for May, and $228 for June, for a total of $537.
Keeps telling me that it's open, but I can't find it. Open? Let me open another copy. So the big thing is whether we can only claim the actual recyclables that were diverted, or
Right.
we can claim the difference.
Right.
And presumably there are some recyclables that were diverted that aren't captured in that other number.
Well, I mean, I can basically, like, you can calculate, like, how much, like, it's pretty, like, our recyclables are pretty consistent, so it's pretty easy to project what it would have been for the categories that weren't being recycled. So it was basically, it was really, the low-ox that really wasn't being, so in the low-ox is basically newspapers and low-quality print.
Say that again?
It's basically like, it's low-quality print, so they basically, Kyle told me they were not recycling newspapers, and it's called low-ox. So it's like, it's anything you mail, newspapers and stuff. So basically, if you looked at previous years, we were averaging about 800 pounds each load. And then the last 4 loads, we had no pickup, we had no recyclable in that category. So that would be about 2,400 pounds, which is a little over a ton.
3,400 pounds at how much per pound?
It's like, well, it was different rates because one is, actually, no, so actually it's the same rate. So it would be, so it was $30.99 in May and $45.60 in June. For a total of $76.60. So that's easy, clear.
So that's, okay, that's the $76 amount.
Right.
76 what?
660.
Okay, so that's for the low quality plant, that's for May and June?
Yes.
Okay, so the other amount, the increase we saw in tipping fees?
Right.
And the increased volume.
It's more subjective.
Yeah,
So I calculated it, and, you know, because we discuss it, but it's like, you can't, you know, obviously, if you look at the dumpster, you don't know what it is, but it's clearly consistently higher than last year, but,
so were they higher before COVID?
The May ones, I can look, because I'd have to get more tickets, because she gave me the one for May and June, so I'd have to look back a little bit more.
Okay.
So I would say that the safe one is the 7660,
Right,
and that's easily,
but then there's another 500 and some that
potentially.
potentially.
Well, and you
but-
can only take either or, you couldn't, because basically, you'd have to assume some of that recycling went into the municipal waste, so it would be
So
double
it'd
dipping.
be, we'd have to do, at least take the 76 out, do,
Well, we would just
It'd be-
not included, just do the 537.
yeah. But it could be,
Yeah.
so some of the increase could have been just, in ways could have been just because for whatever reason it increased.
Right,
But some of it
right.
could have been because of more, single-use material
Right.
and more cleaning supplies and all of that as well.
Right.
But how do we discern
It's very difficult.
that as well as more
Right,
recyclables?
right. So if we were conservative, we would just do whatever we would definitely fit into the calculus, the reduction in recycling and the impact that was to the increase in
Is
municipal
there a
waste.
formula on the website that kind of gives you,
No, there was some guidance that NHMA sent out in one of their newsletters back, probably a month or two ago, that said if you're not able to recycle and therefore you could higher tipping fees because of that, that is a reimbursable COVID-related expense.
So I think we have to stick with we have to stick with the 7660 then. And that's the guidance, and that's, would be just the 7660.
Okay, okay. Okay, so we have the meeting expense, including the microphone. So people on remote, is that helping?
They seem like I've gotten feedback that they can hear people if they're coming up here, so I do think it's helping.
Good, good. The unanticipated revenue will come up with a total tonight, and that's our public meeting. We have I don't have dates for the personnel. We have, the stipends that we received reimbursement for. So that's listed here, but on the summary sheet, that comes back out of it. We have the Medicare and the FICA on those stipends. And then we had one individual that we missed on the first list of stipends, so that's an individual here. And then we had the Medicare and the FICA on that. So the total is, $11,596. They say it will be decreased by the 10,000 that we've already received from FEMA, correct, Ron?
So,
Last go-around, we had a lot of fire rescue expenses, but you don't have any for the last 2 months. We do have welfare. I need to verify the dates of the invoices. But we have about 1,100 in welfare. This is just the attachments, and I'll need to clean up all the receipts. This is the summary, which you should have grabbed the amounts from the tabs. So we have the welfare, and because we already offset in the last one our budget amount, then it would be full amount this time. Fire rescue expenses, 0. The personnel, this is where we've got the 11,596.57. The 10,357 comes out, because that was paid by FEMA. So leaves us with about 1,200. This covers at least like one stipend and then the Medicare, Medicare that we had to pay on those lines. The transfer station will just use the $76. And then remote meetings, we've got about 116, almost 170. So this is a kind of funky spreadsheet. I can't put a formula in there, which drives me crazy, but it's a spreadsheet from the state. Let me see if I can do a formula in another, it won't let me. if I added those up correctly, it's $2,586.78. Anybody want to check my math?
Can you email me a copy of that as well as the last one?
Absolutely. And what I'd like to do is after the meeting, if we can print this out and get signatures on it tonight, so I don't have to go running around getting
They're hard
signatures.
to print.
Hmm?
It prints too big. Have you tried printing those yet?
Yeah,
Have you?
yeah, I printed it last time.
Okay, all right, happily print them. I couldn't get them to print them.
Okay, yeah, so I printed them at home. And then the other thing, just,
That's correct.
I did for meetings, I just, I spent I spent $34 scanning it last time, because it's, I've got a copy here, it's pretty thick. It's in my bag. So there are a lot of pages, and it actually cost $34 at Staples to scan it, but it was on a weekend because I was up at the deadline and this building wasn't open. So I'm trying to claim that as well. Are you comfortable with that, putting that in? Okay. Okay, so I would like to just go over the numbers, make sure that everything's correct. But I think this is probably what we'd be putting in for reimbursement. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to submit this for the CARES Act.
Okay.
Tamara?
And the amount I have is $2,586.78,
Yes.
realizing that it might change a little bit if I've added something wrong or something.
Yeah, you added that correctly.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm just used to.
I second that motion, Carol.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye, Tamara.
Aye, Carol.
Aye, Joe Beth. Okay, good, that was pretty
This,
good.
this one was better than the last one we did. The other one was so.
Oh, I know. I mean, I still have
You
to pull
did the hard
together
part.
receipts. I don't have all the receipts and the invoices, and I've got to fill in invoice dates and clean it up. But at least if we've got the total, then we can print it out and sign it. Want me to email it to you now?
Please do, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And these are just, are these still on the,
Yep, you still are,
okay.
it's probably behind something.
Here we go. Okay. So, I have a couple of things, before we get to the potential projects. The, ZBA asked about training, like advanced training, like they were like case study types of training. NHMA has the virtual on-demand training, and they have one called ZBA decision-making process. And I think that would be a good start. And and then if we need something more advanced, we can go back and ask them for a customized one. And this is something that I think the select board should participate in as well, since we review initial applications. So it is, even though it's on demand and virtual, it's $350 per person, or
Per person or?
no, for the town
Oh,
to operate.
Okay. So we can bring everybody
And everybody can do it remotely.
oh, yeah.
So the planning board could participate, the ZBA.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the online ZBA training for the town at a cost of $350.
$50.
Tamla.
I, Carol, second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye, Tamla.
I, Carol.
Hi, Joe Beth. And then Robin, can you coordinate? I think they set up one time, and usually you can save it, but we might need to coordinate time, so we can help you with that. And here's the information.
Appoint someone for the country council.
So, I have one thing.
Going to appoint it?
When I went to the dump last week, Kyle was saying that some of the bags that people bought were cut in half. So like, instead of getting a full bag, it was sealed. And his question is, he doesn't have money there, they wanted refunds. My suggestion was that either he open one of the bags and give them a large for a large, or they go to the town office. Now, in the town office, does the town clerk also sell trash bags, or is it just?
Yes. Yes.
So that would be probably a better way of going. I don't know,
Or
I
I
thought
think
it's,
exchanging it, because you probably need a bag there too. Is it just one bag in the roll or the whole roll?
I don't know, I guess there was a couple different ones. So I said, you know, I don't know if he just doesn't have permission to just open up one and say, here's a bag for the bad bag. He said he sent them over here, he didn't know. So, I think that,
I think it makes sense that it gives them another bag. And
yeah,
then if they don't want that, then they could come.
I think that would have to be on Kyle's discretion. I don't think,
Could he keep track of the not good bags in case we can get refunded at all? You know, if it becomes where there's a problem where there's a lot of them, maybe keep track of them. and-
which brings me to another question. The bags are coming when? July 15th?
They should be here this week, yeah.
So has anybody made arrangements for, because they usually put them here, so, which means they need to be carried in. Is that something the highway department's gonna do? Have they decided, does anybody know?
Anybody? Where do they come? I'm not clear what.
I guess we're supposed to get large trash bags this week, but they usually keep them in that room next door, so
So how are they delivered?
I assume by truck. I mean, it's a big pallet in there.
I assume by truck too.
So I
I
don't know,
don't
is
know
that
how many
something that we need to make sure that
The highway department can.
is not on vacation, or they can do it, or if it made them aware that the truck was coming in, so they won't be out on a road?
We
Let's
need to-
eat you Wheaties, no, just kidding.
Well, we can email them to see if we can get advance notice, and I can ask, and do you want them delivered here now, or do you still want them delivered down?
I have no idea where they want them.
We're
Yeah.
safe and secure.
Wondered about it, if there was space at the highway department, but I don't know.
Or even at the dump. I don't know.
I don't think he's got a lot of secure space there.
Yeah, you should,
Yeah,
that
no.
little office and,
Unfortunately, that door there cannot be locked. So,
This
and that's
door-
fire code, this door here.
Yeah, we know. We gotta take the half off.
So, yeah,
Someone has to do
so
it.
they're not very secure in there.
No, but
So where do we have to put them?
that's the room they've been putting them in, so I don't know. I just wanna make sure that,
Police department?
That's when I was in the police station, it's locked.
well,
They're
that's
gonna
our
do
next
something with that, I
topic.
think.
To find out if we're gonna do something about that. So we don't wanna put them where we might be ripping, painting and,
it seems like for now, if they're coming next week, that's probably just keeping the status quo is easiest. But then, we do need, will you find out when they're gonna be delivered so we can get somebody to help in the highway
Well, and
department?
that's what I'll ask, will they roll them into the building, or does somebody have to, or do they just bring them to the truck, and we have to do it? I don't know,
Yeah, and I don't even know how they're shipped.
and,
They may have a pallet jack or something, but I'm not sure. Depends.
If they did, that would be easier if they could just
Yeah.
roll it in.
They might.
If they want it off the truck, they probably have one.
You can't get
Yeah.
a truck to the doors.
A lot of
They
the
can't
trucks
get
do.
Can you on
through
that
the
side?
doors.
Is there 2 doors
How
on
about
that
on that side, on the back side? Can they get a pallet thing through there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. If these are on a pallet, then they
Mhm.
probably do have a pallet jack, but I don't even know whether it's, UPS or freight pump, I don't know.
Do you know how much is coming? How many cases?
I wanna say 34.
If it's a
But I'm
pallet,
guessing-
And there's
UPS
20
will
rolls
bring it.
to a,
Yeah,
You're
it'll be
right, I'm
free.
relying on my memory, and that's not a good
20
thing to
rolls
rely
to a
on.
case, so those are.
Okay. I have another thing, Carol had suggested that we think about purchasing a bigger monitor. So we could put something like up on the wall. I know planning committee meetings, we've been getting out 2 monitors, so I think there's a lot of use for it. And it's probably where we're doing remote meetings,
It sounds like we've been
Probably-
doing them for a while.
claim it as a, COVID-related expense too, because it, we can keep track of
You can
who's.
get a wall mount with it, so you can move it where you want it, and
So that was, I did a little bit of looking, and I'm not the right person to be figuring out what to buy, because like,
You want the big one, right?
big, but, you can't, I used to go to Best Buy and get them to help me, but I looked online a little bit, and I saw, like 34-inch wide ones that are, reasonable brand, not the, cheapest brand for like 300, 49-inch wide ones for like 1,000, 40-inch TVs though, like smart TVs are like 200 or 300. 55-inch smart TVs are like between $570 and $850. And that's probably what we could use as a smart TV.
Yeah, because then you could,
you could have the internet right in it, and
yeah,
Right.
that would be,
connected right
That'd
to
be
it.
55 inches. I saw a mobile stand, but that was for like 13 to 42 inches, up to 44 pounds. That was like 70, because you're right. I mean, the other thing is not just a wall mount, but somebody to actually mount it. That's not trivial.
That's
It
no
has
big
to be
deal.
done
Brian could do
right.
that in, what,
right.
not long.
Yeah, because we don't really use the chalkboard.
Yeah, but is it masonry?
We don't use the chalkboard, right?
No, that's who's gonna.
No,
build
but do
these
we
on
want
the
it like
wall.
behind us? We could always rearrange this
It is
too.
masonry,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you
it's
wanna go
masonry, just
sideways?
they drill it, and,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we could.
I don't really know what we gotta do.
You could also use it maybe for town meeting for projecting information.
If it's not mounted permanently.
Right.
Or usually at town meetings, this room's being used for voting.
You can take them off the wall mounts
Yeah.
and move them wherever you wanna move them.
They fall pretty flat to the wall, I
Yep.
wouldn't think you'd have to, just put something over top of it if you don't
They're
want.
talking about maybe having to move it over to the other room,
To the
it's
kitchen.
no
Oh, I see,
problem, you
okay,
can do
yeah.
that, no problem.
We do that.
School didn't leave any of those wheelie carts that used to
It's
have
no
the TVs
problem.
on them?
Yeah. Well, that's what I did see a mobile stand, but it was only up to 42 inches wide, and if we go with a 55-inch TV, there might be stands, I didn't spend a lot of time looking, because I feel like I'm not the best person to make this decision.
Right.
But I did some cost comparisons. Is there somebody who has more knowledge about TV screens than I?
We got one over in the fire station that we got the TV for nothing, put it on a wall mount in the training room, you can move it wherever you want, we just plug the computer in it, and it works excellent.
Is that like a 55-inch?
No, it's quite
No, we
big.
got a small one.
Small, a little
30
small.
something.
Our room's a lot smaller, but it's 30-something, probably 40-inch maybe.
Yeah, we didn't have room.
In here, you could probably do a 50 pretty easy, and it would
And
look
they got a
good.
tape measure on them?
The one we have at our house is a 50, right? Yeah.
Truck, yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I've got a hand-me-down TV after mine died.
But I think you're right, they're a lot more money, but the smart TV would be a lot more versatile.
Well, the thing is, with it, you
Could
can
do a lot
connect to the
more.
internet
Yeah.
without having to run a cord to it, it should,
You could do a lot better.
your computers should set up to it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry?
Your computer should hook up to it, if it's a smart TV, it'll have internet capability, you should be able to go right from your computer to it without having a cord.
Yeah, that would be good.
yeah,
If you
that'd be
check
worth
with the
it.
tech person at the school,
You'd be worth it.
they use this technology.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Or Robin could check with certified retailers.
Could you? Okay. So do we want to go ahead and authorize purchase of one, so we can go ahead and move forward with this?
Yeah, we're only asking certified verified.
Yeah, we don't want,
Okay.
because they'll charge twice as much for it.
Yeah, we don't wanna
We
buy.
got $1 million
No,
TV.
no, no, you just ask their advice because they kind of protect your internet use.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I've also, I don't know if this is true or not, but I know I've heard, like, if you buy a TV at Walmart versus you look like you're buying the same brand at Best Buy, they're not the same.
No, there are different grades, yeah.
Different quality.
Yeah.
Different quality. So I wanna be careful and
Make
make
sure
sure,
like 4K for $180.
yeah,
Do we buy the warranty,
good question.
service warranty, you know, where 4 years, I don't know what, sometimes it's like $50. We'll have to consider that.
Yeah,
Are you just getting quotes now, or are you actually going out and buying?
well,
I think we get an
that's,
idea, I think we get a cost first and kind of look at what we want to do. But the other thing too is, so we Walmart mount it here, we do the annual budget meetings out there, which we could also do, you know, so,
You can move it.
move it, okay.
you can move it,
Yeah,
so,
once a
yeah.
year.
And especially if you get one that's wireless, a smart TV that's wireless, that'd be awesome. That'd be real simple.
You have to have a wall mount here and a wall mount out there?
Oh, yeah.
Or you could, or you could put it
Also,
I don't think
something
you wanna
out
take
there.
the mount
Just
on.
depends.
Because it comes with span legs anyway.
Just depends on how you
Stand
wanna
will
do
come
it.
with
They
it,
make
whether
little
you
plastic
use them.
Yes, there'll be a
It will come with it
stand.
anyway.
So you can put it on a
Stand.
table.
You will sell it that way, but if you want to put it on the wall, you gotta buy the mount.
Okay.
Yeah,
It doesn't come with balls, unfortunately, we had to buy.
And it's a pain in the butt to unhook it off a mount and take it in there and hook it to another mount. It's easier to take the feet, keep the feet with it, because
Right.
once you mount the wall, you don't need the feet, but when you wanna set it up in there, just leave the feet with it.
so we need to make sure we don't,
Put the feet
throw the
on
feet
it and
away.
set it on a table in there so they can see it. I mean, it would.
Yeah.
But you could do that in here too, really, and just
You
move
could.
it on
You
feet.
could set it on that table over there and come out with the
Yep.
same process.
so to begin with, we can just get it and put it on the table and then
Try it.
look at,
That's how I'd start out with it and see how
Yeah.
it works.
Just
and
try
see
it.
how we wanna
That's a good
mount
idea.
it. Okay. So we should probably get actually some comparisons, some quotes. Can you do that for us, Robin? Okay. And are we looking at like a 55-inch, or do we also wanna look at like 49 or 43 inches, or?
What's the cost difference?
55 is the standard. You start going down, 55 is a good,
It's a good site.
you can see it good.
You can
I don't
see
think
it
there's
good.
much
Especially
price
if we wanna
difference.
take it
There's no
next
price
door.
difference really. You start down in the 40s and going up to the 55,
Pretty much the same.
there's not much price difference.
Okay, so smart TV, and I'm thinking like, one of the better brands,
I'll pull up some for you next.
Sony or LG or,
They're all made the same.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All kind of slaves.
Just the cases are different.
it would be nice to go ahead and get that.
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay,
I like the microphone too, it's nice.
Yeah, I like those.
I think it would help,
Yeah, it did. We haven't heard any complaints, and I was asking people if they can hear
yeah.
when people were talking. And they
I
said
think
yes.
it should have a little face.
It does, but it's got little legs and hands.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like-
it's
Little
close
eyes
enough.
and a nose.
Okay, you can draw a face on it.
Yeah, you can buy those little moving eyes and.
Yeah. Okay. And so, project list, the team has started, but we haven't made much progress on.
It was just a way to keep track of things that maybe you wanted to do, and Because
we
I
need
know
to
you
start
talked,
prioritizing
when I
those.
first started, you talked something about mapping, I'm still not sure exactly what it is, but we've never talked, we talked about it once again, and I didn't want you to lose track of it, so that's.
So I think, I know we started looking at it last year, but then we never got estimates or anything. This was back when Jesse was sort of in the role. We need to have our maps redone. And we have a real expert here, and
Do we do that, or does the Conservation Commission do that?
Hmm?
Do we do that, or the Conservation Commission?
The select board.
Nee, this is not the wetlands, this is the maps, like
Okay.
the tax plat
Okay.
maps.
Oh.
Who does your maps?
East Coast mapping.
Who is it?
East Coast mapping, but it's been, what, 4 years?
4 or 5 years.
I think 2016 was the last time it was done.
And so we should put that out for bid.
Mhm.
And I know we have a conflict here because Terry is an expert and she would be great for helping to us put the bid together, but she works for a company that might.
Yeah, that would be a conflict of interest.
Hmm?
That would probably be a conflict of interest.
It would be.
Yeah.
Do you work for
I'm
East
really
Coast?
struggling here because I really don't have the expertise.
Do you work for East Coast?
No, I work for Cartographic Associates.
Okay, because that's who we always use as cartographics, so.
In fact, I just printed some maps for land act.
Okay, you did mine, thank you. They came out nice.
I just figured it out the other night when Tina sent me an email and said something about the cemeteries, and she was gonna contact Robin, and it was spelled with a Y-N.
Yep, I
And
know.
I'm like, why does that sound familiar to me?
Oh, that's
And I
funny.
knew it was whoever got hired.
I did just speak to you, that's right.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think that was from Land Ave, so I looked up my records, I'm like, yep, that's who it was.
Well, that's a shame, because I'm very happy with cartographics.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Well, if we make the decision without using Terry at all, then we
Well,
could.
I'm sure there probably was a description of what we got from the last time, that we can use that as a basis and jump.
And then upgrade it, because we want things to be digital now.
Right.
And updated digitally as we make changes in the subdivision.
Are your maps digital now?
Yes, but
they are, yeah.
For online, or?
No,
Okay.
there are tax maps online, but they're PDF files and they're put up, I'm not sure how, if Land Ave is online yet.
That was too much money.
Yeah, we do have like a web, what we call a web GIS, and it would take a lot probably to go from, I think what you've got now is AutoCAD, and it would have to be converted to GIS
Mhm.
and then put up online. If we were to do it, we have something called Axis, AXIS,
Mhm.
GIS. We've got about 350 municipal clients up there now, mostly New England, some in Georgia, Mississippi, New York. So we've, that's one way you can do it. Or you can do it the way you have now. Once you get the maps updated, make sure that the company that does the updating provides you with PDFs, which I know our company will do that. Every other company should. But they'll give you the PDFs, and then somebody, whoever hosts your website, you can put it up online so that taxpayers and anybody else can see it, the public can see it.
Yeah.
How does that interfere with Avatar? Not interfere, but
Interface.
interface, thank you.
Interface, well, I'm not sure if we do it through our GIS site, and I'm not an expert in this because I'm not a technician, I'm not a GIS technician, it does get connected somehow. So that if somebody is on our GIS site, they can pick out a parcel, they are able to view the property cards, they could probably view, the tax information and so forth. They might be able to get linked to a plan or a deed, if there's a plan available.
Does Avatar do the digital, or do they just provide the site to store them and interface with the tax data?
I'm not sure how Avatar works.
It's something you'd have to look into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it seems like the first thing is to pull up the specification for our current one, which is old.
So,
Right, and we would have to budget for it.
what is
wouldn't we?
this cost? What is like the average cost to do all the maps again?
I don't know,
I have 9,000 in my head, but I don't know if that's
how much
9,000
for a year?
to update them.
Is that what Land does?
I just have that in my head for some reason, but I'm not sure if I'm
That
right.
sounds high, that sounds high. For a town of this size, I don't think it would be that high.
That's an annual cost?
Right. And I don't usually look at the costs. I do see some of the contract amounts in our databases, but I don't usually pay much attention to it.
I think we pay 3,000 to upkeep them. It would be 3,000 to put them online, and then you guys also charge us, I think, 3,000 to upkeep them every year, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Is
So it
that
seems
something
like-
that we would have to take to town meeting, or is it already built in our budget?
So it seems like we would need to build it into next year's budget.
You can, you know, continue as you are with the, what I think is just an AutoCAD, update. You can continue as they are, the way they are now, right now. I'm not sure, their quality is not, it's a little questionable, even though Cartographics did the maps, in 1988. That's when I first started there. But the town at that time, of course, didn't want to spend lots of money. So they were USGS based, which, given the scale of USGS mapping, you have to enlarge it. And things
Get blurry.
they stretch, you know, things don't, at that time, it was the cheaper quality mapping. So Dalton had the cheaper quality mapping at
It's
the
like taking a
time.
picture with your phone and then make a poster
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, so Dalton got the cheaper end, of mapping, and it has simply been updated each year. And, you know, doing it, through GIS, it's still, you gotta have good aerial photography, and with today's Google Earth and everything, the Esri program that we're connected with, you can get good quality orthophotography, aerial photography, and you can improve the maps. But, you know, that's something that you would have to talk with the mapper, not myself, but probably my boss, or somebody else who's more knowledgeable than I am. And, you know, they can give you an idea of how bad the maps are, as far as the quality, and what can be done to improve it, and how much it would cost.
Okay. So it's probably time now to start getting estimates
Yeah.
and bids for next year and get a better sense for the cost.
So we look at the two companies to
At
compare the
least,
two?
yeah,
Or better, even more?
Yep.
Okay.
that would be great. So I think the timeline is for a decision,
Yeah. Will be,
or at least know how much to budget for it this fall, and then we can make the decision after the town meeting.
Yeah, you know, like I said, you can
We can
just
limp along
keep
with this one for
status
another.
quo and get them updated for, you know, the last 4 years.
Mhm.
Get that updated, and you don't have to jump right up, you know, and try to go get it converted to GIS or to get it posted up online like that. You can do it the way that the town has done it in the past year or so. Whatever somebody does, they took the PDFs and they uploaded it to the website.
We should at least look at the different options and the difference in cost, so we can make a rational judgment.
Yeah, and well, at least if you have some cost from other companies, you know, then you can look to the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think we really need to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good, thank you.
Thank you.
And then what else do we have on the project list?
I can't find the project list.
air conditioning.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Central.
Okay, the mapping was on the top. A new phone system or update Spectrum or add cell phones to Spectrum, I think that's another project. And I think QuickBooks is the higher priority right now, so
Yeah,
we probably need to come back to these.
okay.
You know, we've talked about security and this building probably needs to be rekeyed at some point. We need quotes and figure out whether we wanna go with the numerical keypads.
Yeah, I think these are probably things that we probably wanna get together before we do like the projected budget.
Yes.
And then we can put them up, so that way we'll have that information, because we're not budgeted for anything right now.
Right, right.
Okay.
You might want to get input from everybody else who might be using, whether it's the phones, security system as well, get their input.
Exactly, right.
Because you said your answering machine was really crappy, right? You couldn't hear anything?
Mine?
Yeah.
Actually, it's not as bad, and I talked, I can't remember his name, but from Goulet Communications, who put the system in, when the last power interruption blew the battery back up in the phone system. He came up and reset things for me and fixed the date and time that were off and a couple little things like that. But he said, when they sold the system, it was the best they had, and it's still a good system. If you're gonna take the next step up, you're gonna go into the digital that comes up on your computer screen, there's an email and things like that, which is expensive. He was supposed to send me a quote, he did not. But what he also said he would do is come in, I said, don't do it now, but after Robin is here, figure out how and where you want the system. Like now it's set up for it rings into the tax collector town clerk office first. And then it comes over to our office. The police department always rings in our office, so we might even want to take that completely out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we need to talk to everybody, figure what they want, give Robin a chance to get familiar with it and how it works, and then have them come in, because probably they can fix most of what needs to be fixed with a service call.
Okay.
And that's a lot cheaper than buying a new system.
Definitely.
So that's kind of the way I would go to start with, after talking with him.
What's the name of the phone company?
Goulet Communications. They're out of Gorham.
Okay, we've certainly got the police office, just doing that, fixing the ceiling, cleaning it, but there's a lot of progress there already. I know we did get some inventories from departments. I'd like to, regroup and go over those again. QuickBooks. We talked about a recycling committee, but that kind of fell off the radar with COVID. And stuff.
So,
mowing bids,
what about the, spraying, the cluster flies?
What?
Spraying the gym for cluster flies?
Right, yeah. Are we
I
ready
mean,
to?
they're not, I don't know, I haven't gone over there.
So when we had the town meeting, there were all those cluster flies all over the floor.
And
Dead.
flying around.
Dead.
There were also live ones.
There were live ones.
That's with any building. You want to know a trick? Take a Ziploc bag, put about half water in it, and put 2 pennies in it, and hang it in the window.
Really?
Pennies? 2 pennies, for some reason it works, I can't tell you why,
Do they
but
collect in the bag?
you take a Ziploc bag, you fill it up maybe a quarter of the way with water, halfway with water, and just put 2 pennies in it. Tack it to your window.
Right, but do the flies
Flies go in the
go in the
water?
water? Or do you
Scares
just
them.
zip it and?
No, it scares them away, like owls are looking at them or something, I'm not sure what it is. The
Well, it
house
might be
is,
hard in the gym when there are no windows, so.
Yeah,
That
the
would be
window, you
enough.
gotta get a really tall ladder to get up
There are
the windows.
windows
It's
all
all-
along the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't reach them.
I nominate Robin.
it's an old remedy, I don't know, I don't know, how it work in a big building, but all my houses work.
That's like
I'll
the
tell you,
ant.
I think there's probably 10 window panes, and I'll give you the 20 cents.
And of course, now's not the time of year when they come out, so.
But we can start scaring them now.
Yeah.
Well, if you get them used to not coming here, period.
Okay.
Well, there are pest companies too, you could investigate.
There are,
but
yes.
They cost money.
We also talked about reviewing health insurance and our contribution, and maybe having the company come and give this presentation.
Part of that, I think, is a non-public discussion, but.
Yeah. And updating the website, which, yes. But, so, I think this is still a good list.
Okay. Yeah, and again, the website probably might be something is to get a couple of bids and add it into next year's budget,
Yes,
maybe.
yeah, because I think we haven't been successful in having that as a volunteer.
And the other thing is Ron was gonna run the cable, so we have his, but
Yeah,
To your office.
which I never use. but-
And then you said that Frank from,
Certified will be here Thursday or Friday, whichever day is best for you. We'd like to install your new.
Yeah, I don't think it matters when, so whenever he's around, just let me know.
Well, it will be Thursday or Friday this week,
Just
so
give me a
just
call.
tell me.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, just when he's, just
All
give me a
right, so I'll
call.
tell him to set it up and I'll let you know when you'll be here. That
No
way you'll
big
at
deal.
least have your new computer and be Windows 10 and
Yep.
have good antivirus on it.
Yep, no big deal. Yep.
Okay.
and then the police station is on the agenda for tonight? Is that just still,
It's just carryover. Yeah, it's just carryover, that's right.
Yeah, I guess it's to ensure that we can go in and start cleaning it, ripping up the carpets, whatever we decide to do. I guess we just need to make a decision if we're gonna do anything right now with it.
then the other thing we had talked about was kind of pushing back on the state police and seeing what they really need. So
It
what
sounds like they want to use
They
it.
want, because they wanted to use it, but do they
It
do
still
it in that
sounds like they
space,
wanna
or there-
use it.
could there be,
Enough space between,
because we talked about maybe switching that with the admin assistant office?
there's, I think the other thing is, I don't think there's much left over there for stuff. I think they got rid of like all of the evidence.
Yeah.
Whether they're gonna use all those filing cabinets, I don't know. If they're not, there's some over there that, I don't know if there's keys to them, but we could easily get keys made. Cause we need filing cabinets.
We
over
need to-
Yeah, so the issue, Robin, really is that there's cabinets in the admin office that are
Right.
not secure.
Right,
So confidential stuff is,
open.
oh, yeah, so that's the issue.
We could go over and look in there.
Take a look, yeah. I mean, it needs some cleaning up, it needs
Mhm.
paint and things, but.
We just have to kind of figure out how much it's gonna cost, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons they may want it is if they do any interviews and things here, they need a private place where people can come in and not be seen. Where if they come in and use the admin office, anybody coming in to
Yeah.
register their car is gonna
Right.
get to see them and stuff. So that will be one of their arguments, whether you can override it or not, I don't know.
No, I think it's, like, I think if we just get secure what we need to do in the admin office, I think that if we just get the file cabinets, I think that will be okay. And probably the police department is good to be the police department, right, if we just clean it up.
Yeah, and definitely, we as a town need to fix that building
Right.
over there, cause that is not getting better.
Right.
I don't think there's much, I just need some sprucing up. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
we
it's-
need to rip that wet ceiling
Yeah.
down, that might be where the cluster flies are coming from.
Do a little bit of work on
And the fire department guys said that they would do,
it. We'll help do what we can. We can
Pull
buy
it
some
out.
materials or whatever, and then, yeah.
Okay.
I think I could get some help to
Okay.
make it look decent at least, so that they feel like they wanna work in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be the main thing. I do have the cruiser probably half stripped out. We came up with 3 mobile radios that are comparable to what we have, which will be great for parts for backup. The portables are at TAC2 Communications getting evaluated, and then he's gonna reprogram the ones that are worth doing. I told him to look at them, make sure that they're worth doing before we put money in them.
Yep.
And then if they are, he'll do those, so we'll gain some portables there, which will save us buying some, as I explained, so. There's a couple flashlights in the cruiser that we could use. Few odds and ends, and then there's some police stuff that you guys will have to we'll just catalog it and then you guys can decide what you wanna do with it. There's coats, there's some, just odds and ends of
Yeah.
stuff that maybe you donate to somebody or, you know, I don't know, but
Well, there's,
that'll be up to the
there's a
board.
police code that probably Warren works for us, should probably go to.
I mean, whatever you
I
guys
don't
wanna do
know
with
if we
it.
wanna take it and sell it outright to anybody.
I don't think there's, no, why you couldn't. The light bars are gonna get destroyed. I talked to Nick at TAC 2, they're worthless. He's got 5 or 6 of them. He said he would take them with his, and you can't have them out in public because somebody could take them and put them on the top of their pickup
Yeah,
and pull somebody over
yeah.
and do whatever. So they, basically you wanna document that they didn't show up in public and they got destroyed, so.
So we'll need like a certificate of destruction for those.
Yeah, well, I'll have him write something up that just says,
And the other
just so
thing,
we'll have it.
have we heard back from the sheriff's office on the weapons and guns?
And I didn't give them calls yet either.
We need to find that out, because
Yeah.
they are being stored in a safe, but technically,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any place to store them here.
Right.
Whose guns are they?
Huh?
Whose guns are they? The old police guns?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Would you like me to call the sheriff's office to see what we should do with them?
So Coos County Sheriff came
Okay.
and wanted to buy it, and we got,
Oh, okay.
they had somebody to do an assessment,
Yep.
and then we got another assessment, and they're not even close.
Gotcha.
So we made an offer to the sheriff's department of what, 3,200 for all of them? 3,200? Yeah.
Which is like halfway between the
Except the
two.
taser, right?
Yeah, so we haven't heard anything back, whether they're interested. If not, I also understand in having a conversation with someone that there is one weapon that has to be sold by a class 3 dealer, and that is that,
Like they, not a sawed-off shotgun, but equivalent.
yeah, and it has,
And
you have to have a
yeah.
special license, and that person lives in Whitefield. But that could be something that Josh could talk to him about handling the paperwork, because Josh will not be able to sell that, neither can LL Cody.
Okay,
You have to have a class,
even to the sheriff's office?
even to the sheriff's office, because of the magnitude of the weapon, I don't know.
What's the transfer?
How does that go?
Well, it's like a machine gun, kind of.
Yeah,
Kinda.
so it has a little bit more in detail, so.
It's in the same
Josh
caliber.
should be a good one to
Right.
have
Josh
help.
can't technically sell it, but he can get this guy to handle the sale because he does have a license for it.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, it's sitting at someone's house in their safe, their gun safe. So we just need to figure that out.
Yes.
We also have a taser gun in the office.
And we did come back and it's in the office, right? And that
Yes.
wasn't on part of our, on our list, which we need to get an appraisal
Correct.
and try to sell that with the guns.
And it matches the one he bought in the invoice of April of 2019. With all this stuff was $1,800. It's the same serial number. So I don't know if we can call Axon, who deals in used police stuff, and see if they would be interested in reselling
We skip
Yeah.
those.
the Axon.
Yeah.
And where
And it-
are you storing all the documentation relative to all this bidding and goings on so that you have it for your records later on?
So it's
It's
in the
documented.
police department folder.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely.
It's gonna
We need to
come up
keep it, we
probably, and-
document it.
Yeah, we
And
got
that's
the two, we
where-
got the two bid sheets, and then we have the Excel spreadsheet that I have. I don't know, I will make sure I send that to you.
You just need all that documentation.
And we really need to get a long file.
We didn't, yeah, we talked about that, we just need to go do it. So once you get settled, we'll figure out what you need.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the next,
Prices on those two.
have we beat that to death?
Hmm?
Have we beat those subjects to
Yep,
death?
yep.
So we said right to know?
Right, we got a right to know request
Okay.
this past week.
Yep.
And I think most of it's pretty straightforward, because some of it was tied to litigation. I did put a quick, request out to legal counsel.
Mhm.
I don't have a response back.
Yep.
He asked for some clarification, but I
Yep.
don't have the answer.
Okay.
You know, I just wanted to be sure of that.
are we going to have a non-public session?
I think
I'm
we
going
need
to
to.
propose one.
Okay. Are we going to try to do 6:30
Yes.
to 8:30
Yes.
and then be out of here by 9?
Yeah.
With my,
I have another, I mean, I have a other when you get to it.
Yeah, no, because that's the
Oh,
thing is,
okay.
what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna announce that it's 6:30 to 8:30, if we need to go that long, and then we reserve the 8:30 to 9 for
unless
non-public.
there is extenuating circumstances.
Right.
So the other thing I pulled up, but I hadn't had a chance to really go through it, and I think we need to look at it again, are the procedures we did last year, and just it's time to review those
Right.
and tighten up on things.
Yep, I agree. Where's that gavel?
To be honest, I thought the concerned citizen would be,
It's 8:17, so
instead of
we're
the
still in a public meeting.
Okay.
I have two forms that need signatures. One, my check you need to sign the approval form. And Jabeth's one, you signed her approval, but didn't sign the check.
They were together.
Yeah, they were, it was hidden under, so.
Okay, and Ron, what was your last name?
What's that?
What was
I
your
signed
last
this
name?
one.
I do have something I wanted to discuss real quick, and it's a really, something we gotta do, I think. All right, so Whitefield, back a while ago, bought a new truck.
Yeah.
And they bought a combination truck. They have their old tanker that is
More
in
than ours.
excellent condition, way better than what we have. We have a chance to buy it at a really, really reasonable price because the board would like to see it go to another town within our mutual aid system because they would get the benefit from the use of the truck. I know the truck well because Tiny Miller and I built it when I was in Whitefield years ago, and it was put together nice, it was custom built. It was a big money truck. The motor was recently completely rebuilt in it. It's got a working pump in it. Just a way better truck. My understanding is they would accept a bid of $15,000 to buy this truck. Easily worth 40 or 50. What I would suggest is take the money out of capital reserve, buy the truck, take the truck over here that we have that needs a bunch of work at town meeting, we'd probably have to wait till town meeting, but put that truck out and sell it and offset the price of this one. And I'm thinking we could get out of this one very reasonably.
So are they looking at a bid right now, or after?
They already have a private party that's turned in a bid. And my understanding is from what I've talked to Mossy, it's 15. They would take that bid and would rather sell it to another fire department than take a private seller bid, is what they'd rather do. But it's something we gotta jump on because they already have a private party bid on this truck.
So my question is, can we do that without going back to the town?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you have the-
Capital reserve.
Bob bought two $80,000 trucks without ever going through town meeting.
That's the
The
purpose of
board
the,
has the authorization to authorize capital reserve funds.
And so, I know we set up, I don't have all the funds ingrained in my memory.
It would have to come out of the vehicle one, which has at least 65,000 in it. I don't know if that includes this year's amount or not, but
And that's for fire?
yes,
Town board.
the equipment capital reserve.
You guys have a separate capital reserve for your equipment and town equipment?
Yes, the fire department has a vehicle replacement capital reserve, and then last year they set up a, I don't know what they actually called it, but it was.
Non-vehicle equipment.
Yeah, basically,
Right.
yeah.
that was this year.
Yeah. But,
And that one is EMS fire, and the one you're talking about is fire only.
it's fire equipment, yes.
So it's in the town report. It's in the
Yes.
town report.
Yeah, there's at least 65 in there, I know that. And like I said, for what we could sell this other truck and then hopefully, do a warrant to put the money back in the capital reserve, and probably gonna be out of this truck for less than 10 grand. And we're talking, it's a nice truck, the tank was custom built. when I painted the cab on the truck, and when I painted it at that time, DuPont donated all the paint for that truck. I mean, it's literally got glamour clear coat on this thing, and it's a really awesome truck. I just hate to see the thing go to
Yeah,
some other town.
so right now, we don't have any like tanker trucks, right?
We do.
Oh, we do,
We,
okay.
we've got a big one.
Okay.
Limited, two
It's
people.
very hard to drive because of the shift pattern in it. The engine's getting so it's got a lot of blow-by. It needs a dryer put on it. It just needs a lot of work. It's an old truck.
And this is the one that we would try to sell?
Yes.
Yeah, offset it.
Yeah, we'll sell that.
Can we put the justification, can you just kind of do some bullets for the justification and why we need to replace it? And I think that would be a good idea.
I mean,
Can they wait until the next meeting, just so we have the chance to make sure that?
we may lose it. I don't know. We can try, but we may lose it.
What are the years difference in mileage, just kind of as a bullet point, like what she said?
Yeah, I don't know what the mileage difference is. It's just it's a better built, better quality truck.
It sounds like a prudent decision.
It's just way better,
It's a public meeting,
way
and
better.
those concerned citizens didn't stick around to the end of the movie.
No.
So it's in the public
I
minutes.
don't disagree, I just want to
Right,
make
right.
sure
Well,
that we
I
are.
mean, I'm willing to come in next week, if we can get, or later this week, if you can kind of, like Robin said, the year, the mileage, all the different things, and basically, I'll come in any day and come in and vote on it.
I mean, it's,
We need to post it.
Let's post it, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because we want to be transparent and above board.
Today's Monday, it sounds like it's a prudent purchase, but you need all the information.
Right, and just to see that comparison.
Yeah. We want to do an extensive research on it.
yeah.
Or at least look like it.
Which brings me to another topic.
It's a no
But,
So what day do you want to do
Let's
it?
stay on this topic, so that,
yeah, well,
do we need
and
to?
I'm staying on this topic. The truck that we have now, we have how many people that can drive that? 2, 3?
Yeah, maybe 3.
You and,
I don't drive it.
you don't drive it, but you can drive it.
I don't know about that.
But he doesn't drive it.
I got no clue.
So that's an issue.
But everyone else in the department could drive the newer one?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
a simpler,
totally,
it's a
yeah.
lot
I mean, you
simpler
went from
truck.
being-
Yeah, so that goes into the.
It's a simpler truck to drive by
Yeah.
far. It's got a straight 8-speed in it. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's just a total
You're a
no-brainer.
car
Being a
guy,
tractor
so.
trailer driver,
It's,
no
it's
problem.
just, the tank was custom built for what it's supposed to do, where this truck was
you don't.
something they just bought a tank and threw together.
That's what you
When
say,
was the
money.
last time you drove
You
it?
want to be able to let.
The Mac?
Yeah.
The one you're interested in?
Whitefield, it's simple, simple. Yeah, that's an easy truck to drive. The engine was rebuilt a couple of years ago, because
I
one
just
of
didn't
their
know when the
guys.
last time one of you guys like drove it or know of it.
Oh, we've used it a lot.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
put that on the list.
Yeah, definitely.
that's
I just don't
what
wanna,
I'm
I don't wanna
looking
miss
at.
it. I don't wanna miss
And
the
when you
truck.
get a mutual aid call to go out of town, and you don't have a driver for a tanker truck,
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's perfect, they'll put that on.
And it's red instead of black, so it'll match the
Not
trucks we
red.
have now.
Okay.
colors are like.
So the color's better.
Right, so we get the justification.
This truck's getting tired, and we're gonna wind up,
How long do we have to notice it? Well, when do we have to know, like, how long do we have to notice it? 48 hours?
If we have another meeting, we have to notice it 24 hours
Yeah,
in advance.
yeah.
So, I mean, I think your idea of having, you know, a bulleted list and showing the comparison between
Yeah.
the two is just prudent to.
And, you know, safety, like, you know, emphasize safety, versatility, like the fact that we're limited with the equipment that we have, I think that that's, if you know, basically, if we don't have somebody that's, of the 3 people that can drive it, we don't have a tanker going to somebody's home.
yeah, I think a real big one is just that we're gonna wind up dumping a bunch of money in maintenance in this truck, where that other one, we don't have to do that.
Okay, and that goes on
And
there
the
too.
offset's just gonna be,
Right.
it's gonna, I mean, it's well worth
Right,
it
right.
just for the
Well, yeah,
offset.
right, so there's a cost avoidance part, so if we
Yeah.
kind of say we think it's about X amount in repairs. So I think we do, but I do think we need that before we can make a decision, based on the current.
You'll be different than all the other stuff that's going through this town.
But you know
We're a
what?
different
But
board.
We're a different board.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
$80,000, $90,000 trucks without even batting an eyelash, yeah.
So Wednesday, Thursday, or
We
Friday?
don't have to
Yeah.
hold a meeting. We don't have to hold a meeting.
The whole meeting.
I mean, it could go in the minutes. If you read, the board has the right to okay them to take money out of their trust funds. It cannot be for a purchase or lease. And this wouldn't, it would be buying the equipment outright. So,
They did that at town meeting years ago. They authorized the board to spend capital reserve money. And that was done years ago, and they've done it in the past, time after time after time after time.
It's prudent to have,
But
because I don't know enough about it, I don't feel comfortable, I mean, it's prudent to have it. So I don't think it's that big a deal, it seems like you have it right up the top of your head.
yeah, and I'm just saying, as long as they don't take the other bid. That's my only,
Well, we don't have to, I mean, we can have another meeting,
Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday?
yeah.
we'll see if they'll wait. He's trying to get them to wait.
Well, I mean, I
I'm
think
taking
that
the
the
other bid.
expectation that a town board is gonna
So-
turn around something in a day is not, I don't think is realistic.
Unfortunately, this is a
Yeah.
private sale party that wants the truck, so they've already turned in the bid.
Have they put it out for bid, public bid?
I don't know if it went to public, if it just,
Yeah, that's not.
they've had it advertised for a little while.
Oh, okay.
And then, like I said, there's a private party bid that's come in on it. We didn't think it was affordable. Originally, when they started looking to sell it, they were looking for $40,000 for the truck.
What was the process with the $5,000 police car from Lancaster?
same thing, the board voted on
They
it.
just authorized it.
That's
And
what I
the only
remember
thing
from the
that they
minutes.
stipulated was that it
Yeah.
had to pass inspection.
That's
and
what I
that's why
remember.
it took so long to get.
And whoever inspected it, yeah, right.
Yeah, right,
The rusted rocker panels and the rusted quarter panels and the, yeah.
yeah.
That thing isn't worth $1,000. Good luck.
Right, so we don't wanna do
whatever.
that again.
Whatever. I'll see what I can put together and we'll see what happens.
Can you get some pictures too?
Yep, I don't know if I don't have any on my phone.
Well, just
but
for your
yeah.
presentation.
But it's
Well, that way everybody can get all excited about the red.
nice. I mean, literally we could sand the white field off.
Get a
and put
Dalmatian
Dalton on
next
and-
to it?
It does have a Dalmatian on it.
Does it come with it?
I know.
No, it's painted on the fence.
Who's gonna take care of the Dalmatian?
I know. It's painted. Right now, if there was a dog with it, I'm just saying.
I always wanted
It was
another
painted on
Dalmatian.
there by Ron Coster.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
So, I mean, this seems like something we don't want to lose. If they can wait a couple of days.
I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to Marcy and see if they'll give us the opportunity for a
I mean,
few
it seems like
days.
we've gone through most of the information. I think the information we're missing are just respective miles on it, but we already know that one is in good shape and the other's gonna need a lot of money. So I guess, do we need to come back in for another meeting, or?
Can you email it, and they simply approve it through email, or, I don't know.
We can't make decisions outside of the meeting.
Right.
I'm gonna
We can
recuse
gather,
myself.
we can finish putting the,
I'm going to recuse myself. Even though I'm not gonna gain anything from it.
I mean, so
You're
what's?
still related to the other
I,
part you have.
based on the level of scrutiny that we're getting on everything, I don't feel comfortable with, I mean, and I think it's a great idea. I'll come in tomorrow or whatever, but, you know, I'll come in tomorrow at,
It has to be Wednesday,
8:30.
Thursday, or Friday.
and it's 24 hours, right? I don't, you know what I mean? And do it. But, I mean, I just think that under the current level of scrutiny, we just need a little bit more documentation.
Look at him, not me.
Yeah, whatever, I'll put something
Do
together.
you think he can wait in 2 days?
I mean, God knows we don't wanna get thrown
Well,
under
and
the bus again.
then let them know if they sell it, then they don't have to meet, so
Yeah, well.
just let them know.
Yeah, whatever.
So you guys pick a date that works for all of you.
So, either tomorrow at 8:30 or like Wednesday night?
Yeah.
I would do Wednesday
Make
for
it
notice.
short
I
and
think
sweet
Wednesday
on
would be
Wednesday
better so
because
we can
you
get it
have
posted and
training.
I would do Wednesday,
Oh, that's right,
6:30.
yeah.
Can we do it?
So there is a, planning board meeting at 7.
How
So
long
we can
does
do it at
usually their
6:30?
Yeah.
meetings last? How
I'm
long
sorry?
does the planning board meeting usually last?
2 hours, most.
That's what we're
Well, we've
shooting
been
for.
working on.
Oh, the
zoning
ordinances
for
and stuff, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that that's perfect. 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock on Wednesday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we should be prepared to draft a bid.
Right.
So if they can hold off until Thursday morning?
Yep, I'll see what I can do.
That works for Robin, your schedule?
I'll see what I can do.
What day do you need it?
Oh, Wednesday, you have land aff, right?
I'm on vacation this week from Linda.
I mean, we don't have to have you here, we can have,
Because we can take minutes.
yeah.
Okay.
I probably would be free by night too, I'm not free in the day, but I'd probably come in.
Either way,
Okay.
It's a one-topic meeting, so
I mean, I think
if
we
it's a
can,
short meeting, it might be in your guys' best
I can
interest to
record.
take minutes.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
can take minutes.
Only because, it-
Is that cost, right? We don't have to pay you.
right, that's what I mean, it would be, you know what I mean? But I don't mind coming in either way, whatever's.
No, I think that's perfect. Yep.
Because you're not usually available on Wednesday nights, so.
So we know that.
But
Yeah, no, I think that'll work.
Okay,
come in,
so we'll
keep
take
the
minutes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there a bid form?
Hmm?
No, is there a bid form that we have developed? Or
I'm
what is
sorry, I
it?
can't understand.
Bid form.
Is
We
there
have a
a,
form to fill out for a bid.
I
I
think
think
you just
we
write a
just-
letter, letterhead.
Put in a
Yeah.
written bid.
yeah,
Okay. So if you could draft something that we can,
just fill in the blanks, yeah.
You said
Yeah.
15,000?
Draft something we can fill in.
Yeah, I gotta, it's gonna be contingent on them accepting it also, obviously, but.
right.
Can you email me all the information so I
Yes.
can put it in the bid as far as what kind of truck it is and all
Why
that?
don't we do 15,025? So it's
Whatever.
a little higher.
I'll confirm, I'll try to confirm that they would accept that.
Yeah.
Which I, pretty sure, my understanding is they will.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it would be contingent on that, obviously,
Yeah.
but.
We'll have to post this meeting, right?
Hmm?
I'll have to post that meeting?
Yes.
Yes, yes, please.
And I will set up a remote
Where do you guys post meetings? Just to
on the
make-
bulletin board and the website.
Okay,
Those are the two places.
okay.
Cool. Cool. I mean, I wouldn't even consider it if it
Okay.
wasn't, it's,
You're just trying to make,
8:33.
you're just trying to make.
Now,
public-
it's a
Right.
super, super buy.
Yeah.
I'm serious, we're gonna start trying to get out of here
I don't
instead of
get
11
it.
o'clock.
So I make a motion that we go into non-public session. There are 2 personnel issues I'd like to discuss and a legal
Yes.
litigation issue.
Yeah.
I wondered if, for the first personnel issue, if you wanted to stay, Ron?
That means you're gonna hit the vote.
I haven't seen a motion in a second, so.
You're right. Do I have a motion? I make a motion that we go into non-public session for those, for 2 personnel and 1 legal/litigation.
And you're taking Ron
I
in,
second the motion, Tamala.
and you're taking Ron in with you?
For the first one.
And do you want me to be there too?
You were still employed, so you could be there.
Oh, I know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Carol, give those to
Um,
Robin.
So that's
Just some
my,
gas
Rebecca
slips.
making
Actually,
the
you probably don't
motion.
need the clip,
Pamela
but-
seconded it.
What are these?
Just gas slips, sorry.
Slips for the EMF.
You'll get a monthly
Okay,
bill,
all
it
in
just
favor?
backs up the.
I, Joe Beth.
I, Carol Sheltry.
Pamela stepped out, but motion carries and we'll go into non-public session. I would also like to take a 2-minute break.